I'm usually the only one who really cares. I'm like a lifeboat. And I will tell you, I think I have the hardest job of any professional. I'm not like a cardiologist. I'm not even like an oncologist. No one's ever had.
Guilty.
Every case is different. Every case is fact-specific. But it's never my job to determine whether my client is 100% guilty or 100%.
I'm going to do everything that I can to move his case as quickly as possible. I understand that the government has a great amount of electronic devices that they have to download and provide.
A bit about Agnifalo's history. He received a bachelor's degree in philosophy and political science from Connecticut College in 1986. In 1990, he received his Juris degree from Brooklyn Law School, and while there, even received the American Jurisprudence Award for Outstanding Performance in Trial.
Can you come say a few words at the microphone? Who's going to be watching Jesse and Delilah? Put it down in front.
I think that we made the points that we've been wanting to make. I think it came out. Mr. Combs is a fighter.
I imagine it's thousands. I mean, you know, and I'm not really sure what the baby oil has to do with anything. I don't know where the number 1,000.
Diddy is no stranger to controversy, but this time it's his own attorney dropping a bombshell that has everyone talking. What could possibly drive a high-profile lawyer to step away from one of the biggest stars in the game? The shocking courtroom confession has left fans and critics buzzing with speculation. Stick around as we uncover the jaw-dropping details behind this unexpected twist. Trust me, you won't want to miss a single moment of this unfolding drama. But before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss updates and videos like this. Let's get started.
Exactly what they are going to try and do.
Right, and he has brought in new lawyers to try and get this done. Get to the lawyers in a second. I just don't know how has the argument changed?
25 of the 120 individuals who are in these cases were minors at the time of the acts complained of.
We believe in him wholeheartedly. He didn't do these things. This was a 10-year relationship. There's no coercion. There's no crime. There's basically just, you know, someone who brought a civil case and now is finding themselves as a witness in a criminal
For
case.
the past several years, Agnifalo has been lead counsel for the Agnifalo Intrater law firm. That leads us to Agnifalo's notable cases, beginning with the federal trial of NXIVM cult leader Keith Raniere.
Picture this, a slow-motion car crash you just can't look away from. That's exactly the scene surrounding Diddy right now. His once solid empire is shaking like it's built on jelly, with scandal after scandal after scandal dropping like beats in a rap battle. Every day seems to bring a new bombshell, and now the feds are closing in. As for Diddy's lawyer, the word on the street is that he's had enough stepping down after what must have been countless sleepless nights. With his defender out of the picture, the big question looms: what's next for Diddy?
CIA, you're like, okay, we're looking for people who have gone through these things in their life that have curated this kind of like personality type.
Well, isn't it just like part of the gig? Like here's a first.
He's focused. He has been ready to defend this case since he first found out about this case. Nothing has changed from his perspective. I obviously would much prefer to fight this case with him out of jail, and we are going to try to bring that about through additional legal process.
Diddy is facing a storm of lawsuits and accusations, but his legal team isn't backing down. They've dismissed the claims as baseless, labeling them as money grabs, and remain firm in maintaining his innocence. At his first pre-trial hearing, Diddy stood his ground and pleaded not guilty, setting the stage for what's shaping up to be a high-stakes legal battle.
Innocent. I believe he's innocent, and we're going to fight this case with all of our might until we don't have to fight any longer. We're not giving up by a long shot. I told Mr. Combs I'm going to try and get his case to trial as quickly as possible.
I don't think it was 1,000. Let's just say it's a lot, okay?
What prosecutors were arguing is not only does your client pose a flight risk, because obviously he's incredibly wealthy, has access to planes and a lot of staff, even though you said he turned over his passport to you months ago. They were also worried about him being able to interfere with witnesses and calling them. And so I guess the question is, how do you assure the court that that won't happen if prosecutors are saying this is someone who's attempted to bribe security staff and has already interfered with witnesses?
So I think the most important thing, even more important than the passport, is that Mr. Combs came to New York on September 5th. As soon as we realized that this indictment was going to be coming down in a matter of weeks, maybe months, but sometime soon,
When Judge Robin Tarnowski denied Diddy's bail, he remained composed, calmly sipping water as he glanced at his family before being escorted out of the courtroom. His lawyer, Mark Agnifilo, was resolute, stating Mr. Combs is a fighter. He's going to fight this to the end. He's innocent. Agnifilo also announced plans to appeal the bail decision, signaling that the battle is far from over.
Nothing's on the government's timetable, nothing's on the defendant's timetable, and they're going to have to accommodate me and him and give us a quick trial, and I'm going to be pushing for that.
Diddy's lawyer acknowledged his past struggles with substance use and unhealthy relationships, but emphasized that he is now in therapy and receiving treatment. Agnifilo suggested that the case centers around a long-term relationship that ended badly due to infidelity, subtly referencing Diddy's decade-long relationship with Cassie Ventura. This revelation adds yet another layer to an already complex and highly publicized legal battle.
His lawsuit, where she talked about these freak-off parties that he would have at hotels in, she said, in Atlanta, Miami, LA, and New York.
And they were essentially. But the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, who filed this, laid this out at a press conference and specifically addressed the freak-offs.
Shy Diddy Combs' legal battles took another dramatic turn when prosecutors accused him of violating jail phone rules while at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center, MDC. According to Vibe, Diddy allegedly used other inmates' phone access cards packs to contact witnesses and influence public opinion during his case. However, his attorney, Alexandra Shapiro, refuted these claims, arguing that sharing PAC numbers is a common practice at MDC and does not constitute obstruction of justice. She further emphasized that there is no evidence suggesting Diddy's calls were different from those made using his own PAC.
Reaction to this newest and latest allegation of more than 100 additional victims.
Hi, Nicole. Nice to be with you. You know, it's the proverbial snowball coming down the hill. You know, when you've been living a lifestyle, not just one or two incidences, but a lifestyle which Diddy seems to have led, there's a lot of people, a lot of activity out there. And to be honest, I don't think it's over. I don't think we're at the precipice yet. We're going to see these new claims come out in different states, different jurisdictions. The additional ones will follow. And people are kind of jumping on the bandwagon. And the indictment and the initial civil lawsuits gave a lot of these victims the courage to come forward. This is probably why they didn't come forward before. And now we're seeing it.
Threatened and coerced victims to get them to participate in the freak-offs. He used the embarrassing and sensitive recordings he made of the freak-offs as collateral against the victims.
In a recent twist, Judge Arun Subramanian ordered prosecutors to destroy notes seized during a raid on Diddy's cell. Prosecutors had insisted the notes were key to their case, but the judge's decision underscores the growing tensions in this high-profile legal battle. Diddy's lead attorney, Mark Agnifilo, brings an impressive legal background to the case. A graduate of Connecticut College with a bachelor's degree in philosophy and political science, he earned his JD from Brooklyn Law School in 1990, where he was recognized with the American Jurisprudence Award for Excellence in Trial Advocacy. His expertise will undoubtedly be critical as Diddy continues to fight these allegations.
His office until 2006, when he began work at the law office of Benjamin Braffman, who, by the way, repped Diddy in his trial regarding the New York nightclub shooting. You may remember Diddy was charged with illegal relations and bribery charges in that case after a shooting broke out near Times Square in 1999. No one was in.
Mark Agnifilo, Diddy's lead attorney, holds memberships in several prestigious bar associations, including the New York State Bar, the State of New Jersey Bar, and the U.S. District Courts for the Southern and Eastern Districts of New York and the District of New Jersey. He is also admitted to practice before the Supreme Court of the United States and the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit. Agnifilo's career is marked by handling high-profile cases, including defending Keith Raniere, the founder of NXIVM. Initially presented as a multi-level marketing company, NXIVM was later exposed as a cult-like organization. Raniere faced serious charges, including exploitation and racketeering, making Agnifilo well-versed in tackling complex and controversial legal battles. His experience and credentials are vital as he leads Diddy's defense in this high-stakes case.
His innocence, he does plan on appealing, and we do think we have some substantial grounds for an appeal. I think Keith is comfortably in that class of defendants who should not one day die alone in prison.
And so a fair sentence, I think, would give him the ability to have hope that one day he...
In 2019, Keith Raniere, whom Mark Agnifilo defended, was sentenced to 120 years in prison and fined $1.75 million for charges including exploitation and racketeering. This outcome underscores the high-stakes nature of the cases Agnifilo has handled, showcasing his experience in navigating some of the most complex and high-profile legal challenges, a skill he now brings to Diddy's defense.
Who lied repeatedly and was only going to testify against Ng to save himself, is what he said.
Patricia, what are the expectations on what else we can hear through these proceedings? We're expecting this to go for potentially another month or longer.
Yeah, what the government is starting to do right now is they have a current Goldman Sachs banker that worked on the 3 transactions, bond transactions behind 1MDB.
Mark Agnifilo also represented Roger Ng, a former Goldman Sachs employee convicted in 2022 of bribery and corruption tied to the Malaysian Sovereign Wealth Fund. This case, widely known as the 1MDB scandal, drew international attention due to its massive financial implications. During closing arguments, the prosecutor remarked, "The harm to the people of Malaysia is immeasurable. It is deeply unfair to everyone else who plays by the rules," as reported by the LA Times. Agnifilo's involvement in such high-profile cases underscores his expertise in defending clients entangled in complex legal controversies, a skill set now critical in Diddy's ongoing legal battles.
It's just very strange for a lot of people that the list of clients that went to the island has not been made public.
Yeah, it's very interesting, isn't it? Probably will be, by the way. Probably.
So if you're able to, you'll be...
Yeah, I'd certainly take a look at it. Now, Kennedy's interesting because it's so many years ago.
You know, I think part of why Kamala is getting so much support is that if Trump wins, that FCC client list is going to become public.
Yes.
And some of those billionaires behind Kamala are terrified of that outcome.
Yeah.
The streets are buzzing with rumors that Donald Trump and Elon Musk are about to name-drop everyone who attended Diddy's wild parties. According to reports, the feds allegedly have their hands on a list that includes some of Hollywood's biggest names, reportedly coming from Trump and Musk themselves. Ever since Diddy's shocking arrest, the entire Hollywood scene has been scrambling to distance themselves from the chaos. Diddy's accused of hosting some of the most outrageous parties imaginable, events where boundaries were shattered and rumors swirl about little people dressed as Harajuku Barbies being present. These weren't just ordinary gatherings, they were exclusive, over-the-top indulgences for Hollywood's elite, where there were no limits to substances and swapping partners was the norm. Even those who would never engage in reckless behavior found themselves drawn into this chaos. Allegedly, some were even recorded, and the FBI has confiscated hours of footage and devices containing these clips.
Tania Wallace, who claims she's been at a freak-off and said she saw children, and it was hard for her to say it.
It was very hard for her to say it, Ashley.
Now that Diddy's locked up and awaiting trial, a wave of panic is sweeping through the industry. Celebrities are scrambling to clean their names, acting like they've never heard of Diddy, and even taking vacations in foreign countries to lay low. Ever since this whole Diddy saga began, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube have been buzzing with talk of this so-called list of partygoers. While the list itself hasn't been confirmed, that could change soon now that Donald Trump has been elected president and Elon Musk is working alongside him. Out of all the powerful people involved, both Trump and Musk have been pretty vocal about the Diddy situation, and it looks like we might finally find out who's on the list. One of the most shocking names speculated to be included is Mariah Carey, a name many didn't expect, but given her long history with Diddy, it's possible. She's been seen at numerous events, including his 35th birthday party in 2004, where she famously wore a wedding dress, and his 2007 white party. To make matters worse, during a 2014 New Year's Eve bash in Florida, Mariah was spotted alongside Drake and Kelly Rowland, where Diddy allegedly changed into silk pajamas mid-party. Yet, ever since Diddy's arrest, Mariah has remained silent.
Again, 35 birthday swats for P. Diddy.
It feels great.
Yeah?
It feels great.
Paris Mariah and his famous pals help him celebrate.
And it's sad. It's sad that we're still playing games at this point. And as a woman, yeah, I've been in situations where I'm looking at stuff now going, oh my God, this happened to me, that happened to me. I totally relate to this woman's experience, but I didn't know that I just went along with things. I didn't necessarily go along with it.
Paris Hilton, the queen of 2000s party culture, was a regular at Diddy's events. She didn't just attend, she lived for these moments. Paris was often snapped with Nicole Richie at his 35th birthday party and posed alongside a then-unknown Kim Kardashian during his 2006 white party in St. Tropez. And here's the kicker, she even called Puffy's 50th birthday the sickest party she'd ever been to during an interview with Ellen DeGeneres. As the federal case against Diddy continues to unfold behind closed doors, nearly 36 civil lawsuits are reportedly in the works. Even if Diddy's co-conspirators aren't directly named in the criminal proceedings, they may not escape the civil cases. The attorney handling many of these lawsuits has stated that they plan to name everyone involved in the alleged abuse, suggesting that those connected to the situation, including potentially high-profile figures, could soon face legal accountability.
Tend to name people in these lawsuits. We're not going to do it in interviews. We're not going to do it, without doing our due diligence, because obviously, these types of allegations are very hurtful to people if they're not true, and very hurtful, frankly, if they are true. But if they're true, you shouldn't have been in the room and you shouldn't have been participating. So I anticipate that we're going to start filing lawsuits, and it may not be big names at first, but we have a long list of names, and you might imagine in situations like this.
In an interview with Piers Morgan Uncensored, Tony Busby discussed the potential legal actions stemming from the ongoing allegations. He expressed how painful and troubling the claims were, acknowledging that if they were true, individuals involved in the activities should not have been in those rooms or participating. Busby confirmed that lawsuits are in the works, although they might not initially target high-profile names. He emphasized the importance of conducting thorough due diligence before filing lawsuits, as public filings in the U.S. are accessible, and naming individuals in such cases often attracts media attention. Busby stressed the need for careful preparation to ensure accuracy before pursuing legal action.
Victim tells us that this person was in the room or this person participated. We want to do as much due diligence as humanly possible before we file that case, because in the United States, in almost every state, public filings are in fact public. And when you name somebody in a lawsuit, the press is going to pick it up, and we're aware of that. So we're going to make sure that we dot our I's and cross our T's, and I expect that there will be some people named in these lawsuits.
According to Gene Deal, the civil lawsuits filed against Diddy played a significant role in prompting the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York to begin his investigation into the mogul. This development marks a crucial step in the legal proceedings, as the investigation is now gaining momentum, potentially linking the civil cases to broader criminal inquiries. Deal's comments suggest that the civil lawsuits are having a direct impact on the legal actions unfolding against Diddy. MSNBC News explained that the situation surrounding Diddy involves allegations of racketeering, with claims that he manipulated people, including Cassie, for his own benefit. He allegedly used her in both business and personal contexts, keeping her at his beck and call, which is described as deeply exploitative and damaging to her spirit. The report also delves into the impact on Cassie's potential career as an artist. Furthermore, it suggested that when Kim Porter passed away, Diddy was so emotionally distracted and devastated that Cassie was left to deal with the fallout from his actions, a subject that will be explored further in a story set to be released later in the week.
Podcast. Tori, my friend, talk about more that you learned about what led to Diddy's downfall.
Well, Cassie was recording an album for about 10 years. She made a ton of songs, she made collabs, she had producers. She thought she was actually working on an album. That was ultimately a giant pacifier to keep her happy, while Diddy was actually using her for other things, right? For the freak-offs that we're talking about. The album never had a release date. It was never really going to come out. He was just using her for that purpose. So that's part of where you get into racketeering, that there's all these people that he's using in a business context to have her at his beck and call in this other nighttime context. And it's really disgusting, and he really robs her of her spirit and her time that she could have used to become a great artist.
As this complex and troubling case continues to unfold, it raises serious questions about power, manipulation, and the impact of celebrity culture on those involved. With investigations, civil lawsuits, and testimonies shedding light on these dark allegations, the road ahead will undoubtedly reveal more about the extent of Diddy's actions and the consequences for everyone involved. Stay tuned as more updates emerge and as justice seeks to hold accountable those who have exploited their positions of influence.